Hey there. How's it going? Today we're doing a really deep dive into a topic that's probably been on your mind. Artificial intelligence. We got this really interesting document here called Are We Being Replaced? The real impact of artificial intelligence on your daily life. I mean, just the title alone kind of gets you thinking, right? Our mission today is to really unpack these ideas, pull out what's most valuable for you without, overwhelming you with info.
Exactly. This piece raises some really relevant questions about how AI is reshaping our day-to-day, from the super practical stuff to the really personal. We're going to break it down, try to understand not just what's happening, but, well, what it really means for us.
Yeah, and the document starts strong, like right out of the gate with a direct question. What if your boss, your ex, even your dog could be replaced by AI? Sounds like sci-fi, totally. But the point is, AI is already way more present than we maybe notice sometimes. It's in our apps, at work, even maybe in the fridge or the phone. It even mentions those chatbots that, sometimes reply faster than a friend. So for you listening, trying to stay informed, that's really the starting point. Just recognizing AI is kind of everywhere. Okay, so let's get into this first big question. Are we all going to get fired? The document brings up that real concern about job automation, points out that AI is definitely impacting the labor market already. But interestingly, it also says the key isn't really resisting it, but adapting, focusing on how we respond to these changes. How do you see that playing out, this whole future of work landscape with AI?
Well, what's really interesting there is how it frames that concern, not just as a threat, but almost as a prompt to get proactive. While it's true that AI-driven automation will likely displace certain, maybe more routine jobs.
Right. It also potentially opens doors for new kinds of work, jobs we probably can't even imagine right now. And if you link that to the Stoic ideas mentioned later, the key seems to be accepting what we can't change, like tech advancing and focusing on what we can control, like acquiring new skills, focusing on tasks, needing those human capabilities AI doesn't have yet.
That's a great point, bringing in the Stoicism early. And then the document drops this great line. It doesn't do everything better yet. It mentions AI can write like Shakespeare, create stunning digital art, but it still messes up, like confusing a cat with a burrito. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And it needs human oversight. That kind of brings things back down to earth about AI's current abilities, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What specific examples of these limitations do you find most, interesting or revealing?
I think what's striking about these limitations is they remind us of that fundamental difference between artificial and human intelligence. AI is brilliant at processing data, executing specific tasks it was trained on, but it often lacks, common sense, that broader contextual understanding, the intuition that lets us humans tell a cat from a burrito easily, even if the picture's weird.
Right.
This need for constant human supervision really underscores that. For now, anyway, AI is still very much a tool, not a complete replacement for our critical thinking or creativity.
Okay, but here's a point that might make you think twice about privacy. AI knows more about you than you do. The document explains how AI analyzes our habits, our likes, purchases, even cravings. Give that classic example. You mentioned white sneakers, and suddenly Nike ads are everywhere.
Oh, yeah, we've all seen that.
So it warns us about kind of giving away our privacy without thinking and suggests a more stoic approach. Act consciously, own our digital time. What concrete strategies do you think can we actually use to be more mindful about what we're sharing?
That point is so crucial, and the Stoic comparison is, I think, really spot on. If you think about it broadly, it's about exercising self-control in the digital realm, just like we'd aim to in the physical world.
Right.
So practical steps. Maybe regularly checking and adjusting privacy settings on social media and apps.
Yeah, that's a start.
Being really conscious of the permissions we grant when installing new apps. Maybe using privacy-focused browsers or search engines. And perhaps the biggest thing is just pausing, Thinking before sharing personal info or clicking on targeted ads. It's about constant mindfulness online.
Okay. And then it shifts gears to something that'll definitely spark curiosity or maybe even some unease. AI in love. The document mentions apps predicting matches before you even swipe. That's wild.
That is pretty wild.
And AI potentially writing better romantic messages than we do.
Ouch.
But it also offers some reassurance, saying AI can't actually love or get ghosted yet.
Yeah.
Keeping romance with all its messiness firmly in the human camp. How do you see AI's role in relationships evolving? Are we heading towards dating bots?
Well, it definitely raises some fundamental questions about human connection, doesn't it? While AI might streamline finding potential partners based on algorithms and patterns, the document rightly points out that love and intimacy involve so much more than just data and efficiency.
True.
They require vulnerability, empathy, understanding unspoken cues, connecting on a deep emotional level, things that are currently, well, beyond AI's grasp. In the future, maybe AI becomes another tool for meeting people, sure, but replacing the sheer complexity and richness of a real human relationship, I think that's a long way off, if ever.
Okay, shifting to education now. AI in school, good or bad?
Yeah.
It talks about the potential for AI as a personalized tutor, super patient, adapting to each student's pace.
The potential there is huge.
But it also warns it can't replace the soul of a great teacher, the inspiration, the passion, that human connection that really makes learning stick. What are your thoughts on that balance? How much should we hand over to AI in education versus keeping it human-centric?
What's really interesting there is the recognition that education is, at its core, a human endeavor. While AI can be an incredibly valuable tool for personalized learning, instant feedback, automating repetitive tasks for teachers.
Yeah, freeing them up.
Exactly. But the teacher's role goes so far beyond just transmitting information. It's about fostering critical thinking, sparking curiosity, developing social and emotional skills, creating that nurturing learning environment. So connecting it back, AI can be an amazing assistant, I think, but not a substitute for that vital human element in education.
Circling back to the job question with, what if AI takes my job? But the document offers a pretty interesting perspective here.
Yeah.
If an AI can do your job, maybe that job wasn't really fulfilling your potential anyway.
That's a challenging thought.
It emphasizes that AI can't replicate human passion, empathy, resilience, and it encourages us to use AI to our advantage instead of fighting it. What human skills do you think will always remain valuable no matter how advanced AI gets?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? Identifying those inherently human skills that AI, at least with current tech, struggles to replicate. I'm thinking things like creativity, generating novel solutions, complex problem solving, especially in ambiguous situations, emotional intelligence, understanding and connecting with others, effective communication, leadership, ethical judgment, critical thinking.
Right, the really deep stuff.
Exactly. Those are precisely the skills we need to focus on developing to stay relevant and, well, add unique value in a changing job market.
And this leads nicely into, would the Stoics use ChatGPT? This is fun. The document argues figures like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca would likely engage with modern tech wisely. They'd see AI as a tool, one that could make us freer or more enslaved, depending entirely on how we use it.
Yeah, I love that framing.
How do you think those ancient Stoic principles can actually guide our relationship with AI today?
It's fascinating how relevant that philosophy still feels, isn't it? Principles like self-awareness, focusing on what's within our control, practicing moderation, pursuing virtue. These seem like excellent guides for interacting with AI.
Okay.
Marcus Aurelius might remind us to use AI as a tool for self-improvement, not just distraction. Epictetus would likely stress that our worth as humans isn't tied to our tech skills, but our character.
Right.
And Seneca would probably warn against mindless consumption of technology, becoming overly dependent. So yeah, essentially the Stoics would urge us to use AI intentionally and wisely.
Then they tackle the big, slightly unnerving question. What if AI becomes smarter than us? The document addresses this by suggesting that, yeah, AI might surpass us in many tasks, but there are things it might never possess. Consciousness, doubt, purpose, pain, hope, all the stuff that makes us human. That distinction feels pretty fundamental for understanding our own value, doesn't it? What does that reflection on consciousness and humanity mean to you, facing AI?
It really forces us to think about what we mean by intelligence and consciousness. While AI might outperform humans on specific data-intensive tasks, that subjective experience, self-awareness, qualia, feeling the world, seems uniquely human, at least for now. What this reflection suggests, I think, is that our value isn't just about raw processing power. It's also deeply tied to our capacity to feel, to experience meaning, to have purpose. That difference highlights the importance of cultivating those uniquely human qualities.
We're nearing the end, but there are some practical tips under What Can I Do Today? It suggests exploring apps that can genuinely help us in different areas.
Sure, leveraging the tool.
But it also strongly emphasizes balance. Have coffee without notifications, maybe write by hand sometimes, actually look people in the eye when talking. That balance feels key to not getting totally consumed by tech. What small, concrete actions jump out to you that we could start doing right now?
Some really simple, actionable things come to mind, like setting time limits for certain apps.
Yeah, the screen time features.
Exactly. Or designating specific tech-free times or zones during the day, practicing mindfulness in everyday activities like eating or walking without a device, prioritizing face-to-face conversations, and maybe just consciously asking ourselves why we're picking up our phone or using a particular tool. It's about reclaiming control over our time and attention, really.
And finally, we get to the big lesson. The document concludes with this powerful idea. The real enemy isn't AI itself. It's stagnation, stopping, growing, thinking, questioning. It quotes Epictetus again, reminding us it's not what happens to us, but how we react that matters. So AI isn't here to replace us, but maybe it's an opportunity to evolve with awareness, curiosity, courage. After digging into all this, what's your biggest aha moment or main takeaway?
For me, the biggest aha is really the reinforcement that technology, including AI, is fundamentally a tool. Its impact on our lives hinges massively on how we choose to wield it. And that stoic lens provides such a valuable framework for navigating that relationship, emphasizing self-knowledge, moderation, and focusing on what truly matters, our character, and how we respond to challenges, tech-related or otherwise. We've covered some fascinating ground here exploring these reflections on artificial intelligence. It's clear we're in a time of pretty significant change and opportunity.
Absolutely. And for you listening, seeking to stay informed, we hope this analysis has brought some clarity, maybe some tools to navigate this landscape with a proactive and conscious mindset. The key, as we've sort of discussed throughout, seems to be adaptation, finding that balance, and recognizing what makes us essentially human.
Yeah, this document really invites us not to fear the future, but to actively engage with it, using technology intelligently while always holding on to our critical thinking skills.
We'd love to hear what you thought about these ideas and what other questions this raises for you about AI's impact on your own life. We definitely encourage you to keep exploring. And remember, like the document said, it's not about being replaced. It's about evolving. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time.